having mostly recovered from a sudden loss of blood to my eye nerves that happened the day I was given a legal restriction that my ex-wife took on me speaking to the children, I recognise I've been in what's known as a codependent relationship. Codependent relationships are very common, though normally they're the result of an abusive man towards a vulnerable woman. But sometimes they can be the result of an abusive woman towards a vulnerable man. Here's some examples from the Jeremy Kyle show. First of all, the most common codependent relationship where a woman is abused by a hostile man, and then some examples of how a man can be abused by a hostile woman.
I want other people to be aware of what abusive relationships are like, and what the signs are, the early signs to look out for, and how you notice that it is abuse, because at first you just think that it's not.
But
he treated me completely different. He was like a model boyfriend. He couldn't have been nicer to me. Yeah.
What happened?
He shoved me. He shoved me against a wall so hard that my feet actually came off the floor, and I hit the wall and fell in a pile on the floor.
At that moment, does a light come on? Do you think, oh my God, this is going to get worse? Or did you?
And then within a few days, I'd forgot about it all. He'd pleaded with me, he'd cried at me, he told me how sorry he was, and I was a fool and believed it.
It was a year and a half ago. Apparently, you woke up 48 hours later, having been in a coma on the couch.
Yeah.
What happened when you woke up?
That picture was taken, wasn't it?
Yeah.
From when you woke up.
Yeah.
Horrific.
So he'd beaten you up and left you to die?
I had a slight bleed on the brain, a swollen brain. My skull was fractured from the back straight the way around and down and across the roof of my mouth. And I had 2 broken cheekbones, one of which was so severe they had to put a plate in to put it back in place. And I'm deaf in my right ear from it. I've got 8% hearing in my right ear.
Tell me you went to the police.
I didn't believe he did it. He told me I fell over. It was my mum who went to the police.
We do domestic violence stories regularly.
Yes.
And it would be fair to say that the majority would centre on men beating women. I think you have real courage, and I really respect you for coming out here, because all sorts of men perhaps wouldn't want to talk like that. And I think that's a really important point for you to know before we start. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, she gouged my face and left a scar on my face.
This is the scar here?
Yeah, it was going away slowly but surely, but yeah, it's there.
The minute she did that, did you not sort of think, I'm going to run for the hills?
No, not really.
Why?
I love her.
What else has she done to you?
She's headbutted me and broken my nose.
She's broken your nose?
Yes. And she's sober.
So you're treading on eggshells the whole time?
Pretty much, yeah.
You'll make excuses for her, it might confuse you, it might upset you, right? But every time you forgive her, you send a very clear message. You can get away with it.
Yes.
Where is it going to end? In the morgue. There's the reality, my friend. Because if she is seriously affected and has a problem, you have to step back from it. I can't think that too many people who would see Rio in the street would think that she headbutts her boyfriend and breaks his nose. Rio's on the show. You gouged his face to the point where he has a scar.
Mm-hmm.
You broke his nose.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because he winds up.
He winds you up. I'll tell you why you can't help yourself. Because your boyfriend, who looks crushed and lost and depressed, well, keeps forgiving you because for some completely unbelievable reason, he's in love with you, darling, and you're taking the mickey. Are you prepared to work at this? How much are you prepared to give to this?
If everything gets fixed, don't want to lose him.
Okay? Let me say I believe that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to tell you something. And every single person I say this to finds an issue with it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to split.
That's your opinion, though. That's what you think.
Sorry?
That's what you think, though.
I'll go further, sweetheart. Unless he steps away from you while you get help from my show, I'm not offering it. Something will happen where you lose him, or you lose your child.
Why do I lose my child? I don't think so. Every couple I know argues
Shut up a minute. Couples argue that I've gouged 4-inch scars in their boyfriends' faces. There's a difference. I don't think you care what anybody thinks. I think you've got a boyfriend who will do anything for you, and you take advantage of that. He doesn't hit you, does he?
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
And I felt like she called the shots in this relationship.
She locked me in the flat one day.
She locked you in the flat?
Yeah, she locked me in the flat. Obviously, I didn't know the door was locked. I've gone over, I've grabbed the door handle, pulled it, and it's come straight off in my hand. So we're stuck on a three-storey flat, and I've had to jump off a three-storey balcony. I ripped all my back, all my legs, a lot, and I ended up in hospital, you know, because she won't let me out of the house.
It's not funny, though. Can I tell you why it's not funny? And I don't want to upset any of the audience, because I completely appreciate the fact that you're here, but I'll tell you why I don't think you should laugh. If this was the other way around, and a woman was sat here, and a bloke had locked her in a flat, and she had to jump out and injured herself, you lot would not be laughing. You would be saying, he's a complete nightmare, he should be locked up, and that's disgraceful. But somehow, if it happens to a bloke, that's funny. That's not funny, is it? That isn't.
I was more of a man not hitting her back.
I told my team she would give you black eye.
You see what the lady said about her relationship with her boyfriend in the first video clip. It started off nice. The man crossed the line one day. She forgave him and carried on. He got much worse. And like the men in the video clips, I allowed things to become almost completely destructive to me. My relationship with my ex-wife started off good. She crossed the line by taking the boys off me to a social services refuge after she'd known I'd had a stroke from stress. And this particular incident was so stressful to me, I wet the bed. But like the woman who nearly died, I just forgave my ex-wife and tried to carry on. This time she used social services false claims against me to legally prevent me contacting the children at all. And this has been very stressful, and the eye problem I had shows it nearly caused another stroke. So what makes me and the two men on Jeremy Kyle and the lady on Jeremy Kyle allow their partner to cross the line? The crossed line is something everybody else can see, but we tell ourselves we allow it because of our love for the person. But actually, everybody else can see we're doing a big shit on them. It's low self-confidence. It's where you feel you don't deserve any better. So I let my ex-wife be abusive to me and the children from that date of the refuge because I didn't believe I was worth any better. And of course, once she got social services involved, there was no way I could criticise her anyway, because they were stupid enough to believe that criticisms of my ex-wife proved that I was abusive to her. She used to point to my criticisms of her, like she'll probably do with this video, and say that proves he undermines me, which is evil. She's accusing me of undermining her. I'm accusing her of nearly killing me. Even if her claims were true, what she's done to me and the children as a result is far, far worse. My current solicitors recognise that I've got low self-esteem that makes it hard for me to criticise my ex-wife, and they accept that her actions have nearly killed me, and they also think it's a ludicrous idea to say I'm still responsible for all her problems she's having now when I haven't legally been involved in the family for the last 4 months. So the first criticism of me is that I accepted far more abuse than I should, like the woman on Jeremy Kyle, who nearly got killed by her partner. But the second criticism of me is that having low self-esteem means that even though I nearly died as a result of the stress my ex-wife has caused me and the children, I still have the potential to get back with her without her fixing her problems, so she could do all of this again. I know I'd be betraying myself because I might be heading for another stroke if she does it again. I know it would be betraying her because she does better when people put their foot down with her. And I know it would be betraying the children because they might lose their dad to a stroke, and they know their mum is worse to them when people sympathise with her. Nobody in the family would win if I did that. But I'm a messed up human being. If I was so idiotic, they'd have to forgive me for remaining such a complete idiot. I don't want to be that kind of idiot. I want to be how I feel now. And so for that reason, I really appreciate the criticisms of my children about getting back with their mum. I appreciate the counsellors, solicitors, close friends, and my friend Ed in Canada all saying you'd be an idiot to get back with your ex-wife. And the father of one of the boys' school friends has even let me take a photograph of him to make a badge, to remind me what expression he'd have on his face if I got back with my ex-wife without her getting fixed. So I've got all this encouragement not to get back with my ex-wife while she doesn't get fixed. What makes the biggest difference is having my self-esteem boosted and realising that myself and the children deserve better than the abuse we were given by a lady who carried on going to a Christian church while she was doing it. My lovely neighbour Hannah could see this. So when I told her not to contradict my ex-wife criticising me, she did anyway, because she could see the children and me were precious, even if my ex-wife couldn't see it, and I wasn't telling my ex-wife. The best advice I got about this whole predicament was also from my lovely neighbour Hannah, who said, "You can love your ex-wife like I do with my old boyfriends, but do it at a distance."